Receipts.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. We finally have a little break from the Love is Blind madness. So we got a chance to watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. The season 4 just dropped. It's only been 2 days. It feels like I feel behind, but I'm like, it really did just drop. But I know some people like to binge they drop it all at once, which
It's crazy.
I have a love-hate relationship with. It's hard because some people watch fast, some people watch slow. So we are going to get into episodes 1 through 3 today. So if you're a slower watcher, we're not going to go too far ahead. But I think the hardest part about watching this show is the timeline and like what is happening in real life, what is happening on the show, and it's so all interconnected and convoluted and like so do you know like in relation to season 3 where everything was at?
Yeah, they were filming obviously they were filming this while while season 3 was still airing. It's just like get the
It
time.
was
I get you guys are trying to be quick, but like
yeah, it's so weird. It was actually before season 3 even dropped because I was so confused that I went back and wrote down the dates of everything in case you guys didn't know either because I was like, I remember all the stuff happening in real time. I had felt like it happened before season 3 came out, but no, season 3 dropped November 13th. So all this stuff, like the Dancing with the Stars premiere, that was September 16th. Taylor, I'll call her daddy, was September 10th. This was all taking place before season 3 even dropped, and so that's why at where we get to episode 3 when we see, the reunion film, and then we see Demi disappear, right? That was because all of this stuff was, like, starting to happen. It hadn't aired yet for us, but obviously they had watched it, and so then they started fighting in the middle of filming season 4. So what do you like this that they incorporate so much of the like, I do love that it's real, right? It's
yeah.
funny how it's like you could call that fake. It's like it's fake because we're seeing the behind the scenes, but it's actually more real than most reality shows that don't acknowledge any of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
no, for sure. I think that's what makes the show unique is that it's like, they're capturing everything in real time and like no
Yeah.
stone is going left unturned. Like they are acknowledging what's going on in the social media, the scandals, the comment sections, like it's all being captured, which I think is the new direction of reality TV. Did not to just,
Yeah.
I think Love is Blind is really dropping the ball there of, like, not acknowledging all of the drama that goes on online.
And it's so hard, right? Because I know with shows like Love is Blind, the more genuine and real somebody is, the more that we love them and that they become that fan favorite. And it's like the nice with this kind of a show that's not a dating love, like looking for love show, is that they don't have to pretend to be genuine. We're there to watch, like they started on social media. So we're there to watch the brand deals and them to like be calculated, like, I want to look good for this and I'm only coming back to do Dancing with the Stars. Like, that's all gets to be a part of it, and so I
Yeah.
almost feel like they need to embrace that on other shows like Love is Blind and say, you know, like, if you're there for both, that's really the people now that do well, right? Like, they admit that they're there for the brand deals, but also for the love, and so then they
Yeah.
become these married couples that we wanna support, and they do get those brand deals,
Mm.
and, they can acknowledge that that's what they're there for if they're also there for the love too, not just for the brand.
Yeah, just for the brand deals, and I think we probably did have a few contestants like that because I think regardless like, you can't deny that opportunities are going to come from being on Love is Blind, some opportunity. I don't think as much as people think or anticipate, but,
Mhm.
you're going on this show for some type of opportunity, and to say
Yeah.
that you're not is, like, not for
Yeah,
real.
it's
But
silly.
it's like you might end like even somebody as, open and honest and genuine as Vic and Christine, like, you guys
Mhm.
went on this show for something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
so
it's
and
both,
it's like, but
right?
you were there for love too, so it
Mhm.
just it works out, so.
Yeah, I think I love that they incorporate that and they incorporate all the social media of it. We see some of our fellow creators, their TikToks on there, which I love. I know on Bravo, like some of the Bravo bloggers, they still get called that, but of course, just content creators, they get upset when they see fellow content creators like involved in the show, which I think is just so crazy. I'm like, how are you not happy to see your fellow people in these shows? And it is just the way that the world is now, so why not get with the times, right? Because
Right.
when we used to watch Housewives, they would be like, "You said this in page 6, you said this in this news outlet," but the way the world is now is it's social media a lot of people get their news from, so I like that they were trying to, like, move forward, but we have some people stuck in the past of, like, don't incorporate that part of it, but
Right.
that is just the reality. These housewives are talking shit about each other online and to bloggers and pissing each other off. That's just that is part of it. So you want them to pretend that that's not happening, and we see on social media you're mad at her because she said this, but on the show we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Like I like that they incorporate that. So
Yeah.
let us know what you
So,
guys think. If you find it to be too like state I mean, every reality show is staged, and I think we can just acknowledge from the get-go that a lot of this is staged, but we have to suspend our belief
yeah.
and just enjoy it for what it is. Because I do find
Yeah.
myself, like, excited for the next episode, and I can't wait to watch, and even though I'm
Yeah.
like, some of it is like Jesse Palmer, that we'll get there, but, like, it's very set up, so just happen to be here, I'll
And
be
the thing
there.
is I think, like, when I first started I didn't watch, season 1, but I watched the other seasons, and just when they had that big scandal of, like and to me, just basically outed everybody and said, "Yeah, like, we were going over, like, how we're gonna make the next season pop, and, oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna fake having an affair with Dakota." To
yeah,
me, knowing that it's that scripted, it's like I find myself having a hard time, like, believing what's going on, but I still like the series as far
mhm.
as, like, to me, it's like I view it as, like, a scripted series versus,
Yeah,
like,
like a soap
reality.
opera.
Yeah, like, it's just like a soap opera, like,
Mhm,
like, it's scripted and none of this is real, but it's nice
mhm.
to pretend that it is because after that I just find it really hard. Like, okay, every season somebody's gonna separate. So this
Yeah,
season, obviously, Michaela and Jay. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's just like I don't know, but it's still a fun watch. It's still a very
yeah.
easy, fun watch.
Yeah, I think some parts of it are like that, and I think they're trying to get away from that maybe a little, but not everyone doesn't have a natural storyline, and that's where we see those like separations and stuff. But like in terms of Taylor and Dakota, I feel like that is very real. But then when they bring in things like Vanderpump Villa, I mean,
And
it's
Harry
become like,
Jowsey, like,
yeah.
come on. Yeah,
No, I'm
like
like, how is he? Because doesn't he have a Netflix show coming out? So I'm like, how is he involved? But he has a podcast with Alex Cooper, who's really involved with Hulu, Disney.
yeah.
I don't know how it all fits together, but
If you guys are only up to episode 3, he does come in, I think, at the end of
episode
episode
4.
4. So we'll get there
Yeah.
when we do that recap. But to me, that's just kind of like, come on, like when somebody says you have a single friend for Harry Jowsey, you're gonna pick Taylor over Miranda. Like,
Yeah.
give me a fucking break, okay? Like, but we'll get there. We'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
What happens in episode 1? Where
Yes.
do we
Well,
start off?
yes, let's get there. Because yeah, it does feel like, the whole show is basically now just a promo to pump up the other shows, like, they're talking Dancing with the Stars. Now they're talking about Alex Cooper's new reality show, Love Overboard. Those girls were at Vanderpump Villa, now we have Vanderpump Villa, like, the whole thing is just all interconnected, but
I
whoever is doing that
want
at Hulu,
you.
genius.
I want you to make a clip of how many times they fucking say The Bachelorette on this show. They said it so damn much. I
Mhm.
was like, this is ridiculous. Like they
Yeah,
said The Bachelorette so many times.
yeah.
I would not be surprised if it was by the end of the season because you know what I mean? Like we're only on
Yeah,
like
yeah.
episode 7, that it was at least 200 times. You know?
Yeah, they really are using the entire season as a Bachelorette promo, which I feel like it was pretty light on Taylor last season. It wasn't as much about her, it was all about, like, Jesse and Demi. So this
Same.
season is very Taylor heavy and maybe, like, showing she's not necessarily ready for the Bachelorette, but we'll get there. So let's go Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah,
other thing.
yeah, yeah, like, I'm sorry, if this was anybody else that was banging their ex unprotected a month before they're supposed to be the Bachelorette, you're supposed to find the husband, right? That
Yeah,
is the goal of the show, like, we would be
yeah,
eating them up, so I'm
yeah,
actually surprised we'll get there, but I'm
yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
surprised that this is happening and that they're, like, detailing all of this, but okay, episode 1,
Yeah,
episode
that's
1.
what I was literally thinking while watching, I'm like, they're, like, throwing her under the bus with this edit, why would they do that? They must think, like, the more mess, the better for The Bachelorette, but yeah, I was like, "Damn, they coulda kept some things in the draft."
That could really I think the Mormon Housewives fans are gonna
Mhm,
enjoy that aspect, but The Bachelorette is a long, long, long running franchise. I've
yeah,
personally never watched it. This will be my first season watching it because she's
mhm,
going on it. So I
yeah,
think there are a lot of like younger people, not to call myself younger, cause bitch, but like me, that this will be the first time watching The Bachelorette because of Taylor
yeah,
Frankie Paul. But people that are longtime Bachelor watchers, like, this is almost, like, offensive, you know what I mean?
yeah, they're
Like,
gonna have a hard time with it, but
because it's almost like you're not it's ugh, it's almost like you're not serious about it. You're just going on The Bachelorette because it's an opportunity, but that's not what
yeah,
because it's a TV show, that's not what The Bachelorette's supposed to be. It is you're supposed to get a long-standing relationship out of it that could lead to
yeah,
marriage. I know Bachelor and Bachelorette franchises do actually have marriages that come out of it, and it's almost
mhm,
like the way they're talking about it all throughout the show is like
yeah,
she has no intention on finding someone, no intention
yeah,
on
yeah,
getting married, no intention on seriously dating someone. It's just like I'm just going on another show. Like it's a job, you know? So,
yeah, very concerned with how it's gonna end because I feel like they're foreshadowing it with this season, but we'll get there, but I have a
okay.
feeling we're gonna see someone from Taylor's past pop up on the show, but we'll get there. Let's go. It's so hard not to go ahead when we know everything that's happened. Well, we've got to the end of episode 7, but we're only gonna do up to 3 right now. The first episode starts where we left off, sort of, with Taylor and Chase, and that is one of these things we were talking about with the scripted and the ridiculous of it all. Like, I know in the trailer they had Chase carrying Taylor and everyone was up in arms, like, "How could she do this to Miranda?" And then we see that it was literally, like, nothing. Although Miranda does seem a little upset about this date, but there's nothing between Taylor and Chase. This is
I
so
don't
yeah.
know. It was flirty. It was
Yeah.
flirty. He's picking her up. He's spinning her around. I don't understand how Miranda, you're upset. You're literally talking to Layla, who has also fucked Chase, being upset that Taylor was on a fake date with Chase. Like, come on, let's
Mhm.
just be.
I guess it's 'cause there was something in their marriage with Taylor involved, that whole thing where they had the hookups and Chase said he liked her or whatever. So that's like an old wound or like, that person in your marriage that they tell you not to worry about. That's where that's coming from. But you're so right. Like she's sitting there with Layla crying about this. And it's like, you guys are all sharing each other. So it's just hard
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, is it like Miranda was concerned that Chase and Taylor were like gonna ride off into the sunset together, or
I
was
have no
that the
idea.
concern? Or because you were fine sharing Chase with Taylor, so it's like,
Yeah.
of course, there's some type of attachment or bond there. But
Hmm.
honestly, I think that this whole thing was a bunch of boo hockey. Obviously, since episode 1, we haven't heard a single thing about it.
No.
And then, Miranda, they go to this freaking baby whatever, baby reveal. Everybody
Infancy.
everybody come look at our babies. And it's just like, "Oh, you went on a date with Chase? Oh, no, it wasn't like that. No, like it was just friendly. I didn't think about how it could hurt your feelings. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool." And then it's just
Yeah.
like, we move on. I'm like, that's it? Like,
Yeah, it's like what you were talking about with this whole when Demi was trying to get a big cliffhanger for the end of season 2, right? And it's like this is what they came up with was the Taylor Chase because that's how we left off. So we're all like, "Ooh, Taylor Chase," and then boom, they just explain it away within like a few minutes. And
yeah.
so that's those stage parts, but the
But
rest,
if you're gonna stage it, stage it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like
If
go
you're
for it.
gonna
Yeah,
stage it, stage it.
yeah,
Don't make it be like, oh, don't leave off on a cliffhanger of like, can we kiss or whatever? And it's like, no, like, kiss.
Yeah,
a kiss, you know, give us something.
hook
And then
up, yeah.
you hook up, like, give us something then if you're gonna make it. If it's staged anyway, then it's like, okay, then you and Miranda, then we have a conflict with potential conflict with Chase and Dakota. And then now we can
Yeah,
have a conflict with Miranda and Taylor because I do
yeah,
find Miranda and her storyline very boring. What are you doing here? Are you just there chilling? No mess, no nothing. Girl, that
yeah.
at least would have given her and Taylor like a, you know,
Yeah, I really don't I think the only reason she was brought on this show is because she does have those ties to that original swinging scandal that most of the other girls don't have, and people were
100%.
really annoyed in the 1st season that that, like, they kind of marketed it as the swinging moms, and then we watched the 1st season, and it had none of the swinging moms but Taylor, and not about that at all, so they brought her in because it added that element, but yeah, it's just feeling forced. You can tell they don't have any beef with each other, and they have so much other well, Taylor has so much new drama going on that that is just so in the past, so,
Right.
yeah, the sip and see is funny because they don't drink alcohol, and a sip and see is you're sipping alcohol, wine,
Some
and
of
watching
them
a
do
movie.
though, right?
That's
Some
true.
of them do, right? Like
I think some of them, not a lot of
some.
them.
I think Jen doesn't, Macy doesn't. I think Taylor does, right? Taylor
I think she used to. I don't know, I noticed later on, we'll get there, but there's a scene where she's like, "I need a drink, Dr. Pepper." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, she's not supposed to be drinking."
the thing is like you I find the LDS church and Mormonism, I find it very fascinating. But
Mhm.
don't have your fucking foot halfway in and halfway out. Like you mean to tell
Yeah.
me that you're gonna go fuck your baby daddy unprotected, but you won't drink some champagne? Like
Well,
I thought
for
they're not supposed to drink soda either.
I think no, they're allowed soda, they're not allowed coffee, which
Coffee.
is
I seen
weird.
Starbucks cups. I seen coffee all up and through these episodes. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
same with me.
Frappuccinos, ho. I seen them Starbucks cups. What are we talking
Maybe it's,
about?
like, tea or something, but, for Taylor, though, it's not the church, she's sober because of all that s remember what happened with the domestic violence?
Oh, was that in episode 1? I mean, season 1?
Yeah, it had happened before season 1, but, yeah, she was arrested for domestic violence against Dakota. That's,
Mm,
like, so much drama because they had, like, a she was super drunk, they had a fight, she threw a chair, and so
mm.
as a whole thing. So she became sober after that. I don't she doesn't talk about it a lot, so I'm just assuming she's still sober.
Yeah.
And yeah, she celebrated 1 year in 2024, it says. So I think she's still sober, but she's not like a topic anymore. But yeah, for
Yeah.
her, it wasn't the church because she definitely used to drink. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so funny. It's like the housewives being called housewives and none of them are actual
yeah,
housewives or none of them are actual wives actually. Like a
no,
lot of them are not even married anymore. And
no,
so calling this the secret lives of Mormon wives, like
mm-hmm.
they're not
Not
Mormon.
Mormon,
None of
barely
them are
wife,
Mormon. None of them are Mormon.
and not wife.
And some of them are not wives and they're like literally straddling the fence of like their beliefs
Yeah,
and their practices and it's like you're not gonna drink coffee and alcohol, but you're gonna sleep with your baby daddy or you're gonna like have a kid at 17 out of wedlock. Like it
yeah.
just doesn't whatever. Go on.
I think that definitely something that they're probably struggling with right now on the show, which we'll get to, but most of the time when you get this level of fame, you move to LA, right? And some of them wanna move to LA, but, like, their whole shtick and thing is Mormon wives in Utah, right? And if you take that away and they're all in LA, do they lose that appeal and they're just a bunch of influencers now?
Same.
So,
Yeah.
I think that's where they're struggling, but some of them I don't think wanna move to LA. They're not as big of a deal, but, like, Taylor and Jen and Whitney, like, obviously makes more sense to be in LA because that's a lot of traveling back and forth, but that's off topic, so Dad talk. Why? Why are we being subjected to this? I'm livid. I don't wanna see not a single one of these men. They're not all horrible, but
I
Jordan can get off.
hate Jordan.
He's horrible.
He's horrible. He's
Disgusting.
horrible. Like, and he was like leading the charge of like dad talk. Like he thinks he's the boss of dad talk.
Yeah.
Do they have followers? Like, do they get views? Like, do people like this? Are people into it? Because I'm
Did
not
you
into it.
did you see Jordan's interview on the Vow Files?
Hell no. I'm not
It's
watching Jordan unless I
no.
absolutely have to.
Well, like, he basically admitted to being, like, abusive, and, like, it's just crazy to me that they'll put him on this platform, he says he's abusive and horrible husband, and he didn't show any accountability or growth, and then we're making him the star of this show, which I feel like in these episodes, Dad Talk was big, and it kinda got less as we went on, which made me very happy. I think
First
it
2
was
episodes was very dad talk
too much.
heavy.
Yeah.
Too much.
He has 200,000 followers on TikTok. I'm judging all of you, every single one.
Yeah, okay. Alright. Oh, but that's it's so crazy that you would think that people wanna watch dad talk as much as they watch mom talk, and it's
Yeah.
obviously Jordan grasping at straws, trying to make a life for himself, trying to mimic what mom talk has done. It's never gonna happen with these dads, like, it's
No.
just never gonna happen. So it's
And
all
then
about, like, "I got us an opportunity to go to Vanderpump Villa."
the girls got you that opportunity, and I get it, it does add drama, and we need that for the show, so it is helpful, I guess, that they went to Vanderpump Villa, but also, I don't know, it's just what we love about the show is it's the women, they're the breadwinners, they're, like, doing it all, and the men are kind of like the stay-at-home dads,
I
and I
love
like
that.
that.
I
Yeah,
love that. It's so empowering to see these men changing diapers and having their
yeah,
egos bruised and, like, really not knowing how to deal with things that women deal with or are just expected to deal with all the time, right? Like,
yeah,
women have
I
to put
agree.
their careers on the back burner. Somebody has to make a sacrifice. That's exactly why I
Mhm.
don't want no damn children. I can't lie, I've been thinking about you watching these episodes, like, how
Yep.
the hell does she do it all? Like, how does she do it all? She has kids. Like, actually, if I had a kid if I had a kid, I don't know how I would do it, you know?
I'll say
So
yeah, when they got we're not there yet, but when they get to the episodes with, Zach and Connor talking about all of this, is so relatable to me because, like, this is but the problem is I am such a control freak, right? And I hate other people doing stuff for my kids, and so when I decided to leave my job in 2021 when my oldest went to school because I was paying half my salary to daycare and I was doing this job I didn't love and it was a far commute. And then my husband has a crazy busy job. We have zero family in town. And so for me personally, I was like, I just would rather be the one taking them to school, picking them up, doing everything. I don't want to. And also financially at that time, we didn't have the means to be like, let's get a nanny or something because my husband wasn't able to do, like, school drop-offs because he's out of town a lot, and we just had no help. So, I was happy to stay home, but mentally, creatively, you need that outlet, right? Which is where I found posting about this, like, because 'cause I'd always wanted to be an entertainment journalist, but living in Canada where I lived, I was like, "It's never gonna happen for me," so it'd just be a fun hobby. So, long story short, doing that creative things in the extra time I had from not being at the job I had ended up leading to doing this, which has made me so happy. So I love seeing Connor get that and be like, just because I'm not working my job I had, now I have my mental energy to put into something else that works in the schedule. So I'm with my kids, but I can do this other
yeah,
thing and you still fulfill yourself. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
think stay at home moms or parents get a bad rap because it's like you have to give up everything and you're just about your kids. And it doesn't have to be that way. Now, not everybody has these hobbies and interests that they could work into a schedule like this.
yeah,
Thankfully for me, I did, but you just have to pivot, right? And so I
yeah.
liked seeing Connor explain that to Zach and be like, just because you're not doing your job like the way you did doesn't mean you can't work. You just have to. And that's what these Mormon wives did, right? They were stay at
Yeah,
home
they
moms.
were stay-at-home moms,
TikToking.
and
Yeah.
TikTok was their outlet, and it's blown up into something completely different, and now the roles have completely
Yeah.
shifted. So it's like, I don't know if Dad Talk is hoping that Dad Talk is now gonna blow up, and then
Mm,
it'll change the dynamic again, but it's never gonna happen. Honestly, my skin was crawling in episode 1 watching Jordan talk and trying to lead Dad
yeah.
Talk, and I just think he's so like, I just don't know where these men get their chip on this shoulder, like,
Yeah.
first of all, Jessie was the breadwinner of that household before Mom Talk because she does have a
Hmm.
hair business, she does have a salon, so
Yeah.
you was always a bum, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So for you to just you can't even be a good bum, like, you can't
Yeah.
even, like, cook for a bitch, clean the house, be nice to her,
Hmm.
like rub a bitch's back, like, you and you an asshole, like,
Yeah.
get out,
And that
actually.
I also understand if, like, you don't want to give up your career, either party, right? And then that's when you can get a nanny. They have the financial means to have a lot of help, right? And it, you
Yeah.
kind that's where you end up stuck in this you can't have it all position because for me, I'm like, even if I was to the point of making a lot of money that I could afford a nanny, I wouldn't like that because I am a control freak. And I'm like, I want to do what I can do. I hate not being the one to do these things. So if you have that
Mm-mm.
mentality, that's where it becomes hard. But if you're okay to focus on your career, have help that you love, it's like a part of your family sometimes when you have a nanny, then you
Yeah.
can do it all. So,
Give me the
mm,
nanny. Give
yeah,
me the nanny. Can't
yeah,
stay, work 12 hours a day, please, and then give me a night nurse.
yeah,
It's the only way I ever see myself having kids. Give me a nanny for 12 hours a day and a night nurse.
I need to work on that because I'm still like right now, my husband took the kids to hockey, like playing hockey, and I'm just like, okay, don't forget this and do this and don't do that and do this. And I'm like, no, stop. Like they can survive. But then sometimes I'm like, he's gonna do this wrong or like this.
Well,
And so you can't be like that.
but it's
Can't have it
because
all.
we say it all the time. No matter a amazing dad is still just a mediocre mom. Dads are
Oh,
just
yeah.
not moms. Like the greatest dad in the world is still just a mediocre
Yeah.
mom. Like moms are just I don't know. Moms
Well,
are just exquisite. So
and he just doesn't have the anxieties that I do or think about things as much, right? And which is great and works out 99% of the time. It's just that 1% of the time where it's like, that wouldn't have happened because I wouldn't have done that, right? But it's, like, also good for the kids to not have like, a
100%.
helicopter parent, so it's my own issues as a Capricorn that has to control everything, but eventually you run out of hours in the day, so
Which we've learned, very
yeah,
much so this last week, I'm like, "How's this day over? What the fuck
yeah.
just happened?" But,
Like, we don't
uh,
need 5 hours of sleep, that's fine, we gotta do this and this,
we could
and
do it
but
when we could do
having
it in
fun.
2. We could do it in
Yeah.
2. Yeah,
Anyway.
so the guys go to the villa,
Yeah.
that's basically what's
I
happening in
hate
episode 1.
I hate that the men are having confessionals too. I don't think that was a thing before, but we see
Was
Dakota in
it?
the confessionals. Yeah.
It wasn't.
They're getting too comfortable, but
And now
yeah,
Chase
episode
is about Chase is a part of Dad Talk. We've got people that aren't even dating anybody in Dad Talk. Like it's just this is just a free
go
for
get your
all.
own show. Yeah, get your own show, and if people wanna watch that, they can. Get it off of this show that we wanna watch, so but the men head off to London, so I guess they're trying to get us to watch Vanderpump Villa. They haven't convinced me in the past, but will you watch it now to see what goes down? No.
No, I didn't even watch it to see
I'll
what
catch
happened
some
with
clips.
Yeah, I'll catch some clips. I didn't even watch it to see what happened with the girls. You think I'm gonna
No,
watch
me
it to
either.
see what happened with the guys? And we know what happened. Dakota slept with somebody. Whoopty. Okay, like
I wa
if you
I
guys wanted
wonder
us to watch, you guys could have at least like not given us that tea on Mormon wives. Like,
yeah. I wonder what this girl thinks watching Dakota be like, "I didn't give a fuck about her," and, like,
I
"I didn't
mean, I'm
care."
sure she didn't give a fuck about him either. That's kind of the point of just hooking up with a stranger, right?
But
Like,
didn't remember when Zach was, like, describing the scene, though, and it was, like, some other girl gave Dakota attention, and she freaked out and walked off, so I don't know if that's the one he slept with,
he
but it
probably
sounds like he's one of those ones I don't get it either, why the women are all obsessed, like, you find him hot, right?
I don't hot is a strong word, Ashley. Wow. I
You're
think
obsessed with him. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know he's no Rob, I'll tell you that. I
Or
don't
Freddie.
I think oh, he's no Freddie. He's no Freddie. Nobody is Freddie, okay? Y'all know I love him.
Yeah,
But I do think that Dakota is a conventionally attractive man. I
after the
see
hair transplant.
did he get a hair transplant?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
I'm
well,
just kidding, though. I wasn't into him before or after, so it wasn't that for me.
I can see why women look at him and swoon. You know, he's
Mhm.
tall, he's got nice hairline, he's got those eyes. You know, it's one of those things there's like you look at him, but then once he opens his mouth, it's like absolutely fucking not. So
Yeah.
I get why people think he's super hot. I wouldn't date a Dakota. He's definitely a fuckboy. He definitely ain't shit.
Yes.
He's definitely, you know, scum, you know, but
Yeah.
then I have my thoughts on him. I have my thoughts on Taylor. She a mess, but
Yeah,
it's just like I do think I see why the women like him because
yeah,
look at him compared to the other guys.
true.
The only other one in the group that I'm like, okay, like he's good looking is Macy's husband when he has a hat
Yeah.
on. No, I'm just-
Yeah,
and
he's handsome.
Mason, I don't find Mason attractive, but when
No,
they showed that pirate Johnny Depp picture of him shirtless laying in the grass, I said, "Oh, okay, I see," but I don't, he's not. I don't look at him like, "Ooh,
not your
so
style.
hot," not my style. Yeah,
No, I agree. I remember when Taylor posted this guitar guy, I think his name is Ben, in her story, right? And I posted about it on my page, like Taylor soft launches a boyfriend. And then literally 2 days later was when she announced the Bachelorette. And so we were all like confused, like, is this fake? And so to see them do it all out on the show is very interesting because, like you said, if it was a bachelor, a man, and he was about to film the show and he had all these things happening behind the scenes, we would light him up. So
it's just
I get her
she's
wanting to practice, but
no, there's no
not
you're not
flying out.
fucking practicing. You're flying men out, first of all, red flag. The first of all, that he accepted the flight. Second of all, you're unserious is what it's saying. Nobody needs to practice to date men. You're
Yeah,
unserious. That's all this is saying to me is you have
yeah.
no intention of meeting anyone on The Bachelor. You're just going in for the opportunity, and I don't think
Mhm,
that that's fair to bachelorette watchers. Like you have now
mhm.
taken the opportunity away from a woman who's probably genuinely trying to find her husband, which is what the show is about. You're
Yeah.
just
Maybe
unserious,
she'll
but
surprise us.
she gonna give us a mess, so I'm gonna still watch it.
I know in the past they've paid them 500K, that's usually the salary, so I wonder what Taylor's will be. I assume quite
They
a bit
pay
more.
the bachelorette 500K.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
pay the like a normal bit. Like if I was like, I'm gonna be the bachelorette. Here's a rope.
No, it's usually
500K.
yeah, it's usually someone from the p past season, so they've already got a little fame. That's what I've read, so I don't know if it's probably gone up
So I should have
since
went
I
on Grant's season of the fucking Bachelor.
yes.
So then I
Yeah,
could have
they
maybe been I wouldn't have been the Bachelorette because Taylor freaking Paul's the Bachelorette.
Yeah, they reached out to oh, wait, this now the AI overview says between 100 to 250,000, but I know in the past I saw 500. That was probably back in the if you guys remember the Emily Maynard days, that's when it was, like, a huge, huge show, and before it was, like, social media fame and stuff, it used to be 500K, I swear. It
Wow.
was, like, way more. So
So
now it's gone down to
they
100K,
paid Taylor Frankie Paul. If I had to take a guess, what would you guess that they paid her? Two,
$1,000,000
I
probably.
think, yeah, at least I would say two.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Although
crazy.
it's yeah. Yeah, because no, I think so. I was gonna say it's good for her too, but yeah, she could do probably anything right now. She doesn't have to do The Bachelorette, so
And it's going
definitely
to up their ratings so much because look how many people
mhm.
like me that are only gonna watch it because she's the new Bachelorette.
And did you notice the girls all have executive producer roles
Yep.
on the show now, which
Yep.
is awesome.
I noticed that. I noticed
So,
that. So
probably she has
they
so
getting
many
that bag. They getting that bag. And
yes.
producers are the ones who write the storylines and manipulate the storyline. So we all know that all the girls have a part in that. So
Yeah, yeah, the see, now we can't trust the AI overview because it's saying that Taylor would get paid around 250K, and I just don't think that
that's
that's
not.
possible,
Mm-mm. They
no.
don't know. They're just taking their best
Just
guess.
guessing. Don't believe AI. We will figure it out. I'm sure somebody
She's
will get
definitely getting like 1.5 to $2 million.
and probably some kind of bonuses too, right? Like the
Yeah.
better it does, the more she'll make and it'll do very well. So,
Yeah.
but yes, but there's always so many side things to say about this show, but um the girls meet this Ben guy. What did you think of I love that she goes to pick him up like not showered it looks like and she still looks beautiful, but she's just doesn't give a shit,
She
which I
doesn't give
love
a shit.
about her.
That's what I mean when I say that she's a mess, and I think that that's why people resonate with her is because she
Mhm.
is
She's
not
real.
perfect and she's real. She didn't even
Mhm.
have a lick of makeup on, a sweatshirt,
No.
and I again, um, I don't know how real this is. I don't know what connection this Ben guy has with the show, but clearly it's
Mhm.
like a promo for him and his music and whatnot
Yeah.
because it just is not real. Like, I'm sorry, if a girl's going to pick up a guy that she has a crush on, like she's
Yeah.
gonna do something, to look presentable.
Yeah.
So
I kind of felt like she did that on purpose to sort of signal to us, right? Like, "I don't actually like this guy, it's for the show, like, this
it
is
was
I'm
very
not putting
obvious.
it."
We didn't need the signal. We know, bitch. The minute you started showing his fucking Instagram and his music, I was like, I don't know if this is the producer's son or who the fuck this
Yeah.
Ben guy is, but
Well,
his
I was
manager worked overtime to get him a role on Secret Lives, Mormon Wives.
I thought he looked like Dakota before they said it, so I was like, maybe that's what it is, or I know on The Bachelorette, a little trope they love to do is someone popping up from your past. They'll have an ex show up halfway through or, like, another previous contestant, and so that's what it's giving to me. I think we're gonna see
Set
this
that up.
guy pop in just for,
Okay,
like,
that
to
makes
tie
sense.
they like to tie every show into each other, so I feel like he's gonna show up there or something, and I
That makes
mean
sense.
he sings, maybe they're gonna have him perform I don't know what it
That
is.
makes
It does
sense.
feel very
It's
random.
not
He
the
has no job.
last the fact that all the girls come on, all the girls just happen to be in the area and, like, show up at Taylor's house to meet this guy, it's like, "Okay."
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
the
it's a
questions they were asking him, like, "Dude, this is, like, my first meetup with her, and you're asking me how I feel about dating a mom and if,
yeah,
okay, this is casual. This is
yeah.
casual."
Yeah, it was silly. They did, like, a mock bachelorette thing, which actually got me thinking about I never think about this when I watch a bachelorette season, how much, like, technical stuff is involved and all the things you have to do, and the fact that, like, not everybody would be good at that, right? And, like, not everyone would be able to stand up there without laughing their ass off, and, like, it's hours, I think, that rose ceremony and, like, having to remember the names and, like, I do feel worried for her because I don't feel like she's, like, wants to do all of the stuff
Yeah,
that we usually see, but I did see Jesse Palmer say she doesn't, like, it's not a normal bachelorette season, and she'll give out a rose whenever she wants, and it's, like, gonna be
okay.
different, so that
Okay.
makes sense, so
Okay.
yeah. So we see the boys come back from Vanderpump Villa, and I did you notice somebody said that Zach was a dog or something? Do you think we're gonna see some kinda
Oh, the
controversy?
comments? Or oh,
Mhm.
no, they were like, "Bring back London Zach," or was that Zach, or was
That was someone else, but I
That was
know
Macy's husband?
yeah. When they were talking about some of the boys, though, someone said Zach was a dog. I don't remember who said it, but I just noted that because 'cause I'm like, interesting, because 'cause they're all talking
Interesting.
about what Dakota did, but I feel like the other men must have gotten some trouble too, so
Yeah.
put that in our pocket for later. I feel like
Okay,
he
I
did
didn't even
something.
hear that. I didn't even hear
Yeah.
that, so good catch.
What do you think of Macy's husband being so quiet and shy and then being like, "Oh, he's coming out of a shell," and her being like, "I don't like that he's speaking up now." Like, is that a little not attractive? Like, who would
Um,
find that attractive?
I don't I don't know, because if it was the roles were reversed and he's there
That's what
like,
I was thinking.
"She's fucking speaking up now," like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." Like, I think we would be in an uproar, like, I don't know what
Mhm.
it is about, like, these audiences that like, it's just because we all hate men, I think, secretly.
Yes.
So it's like we all want give the women so much grace and then, like, the man because all I think about is the roles were reversed and he was like, "Shut up, like, be quiet, like, be that
Yeah.
quiet little bitch that you've always been." Like, we'd all be like, "Get him
He
off of our
kinda
television
yeah,
now," you know? Um,
I agree.
I don't
I was like,
know,
"That's a
I
little
don't
odd." I don't know
she was like, "He
who
came
would
back with a voice, like, I'm not sure if I like this. You have suggestions, huh, about this household, bitch?" Like, it's like, wait, wasn't he the breadwinner at first before Macy got on?
Yeah.
I was like it's like they're all forgetting that, like, our roles were but maybe she was always even though as, like, even though she wasn't the
Mhm.
breadwinner, like, in the relationship prior, like, maybe she was, like, the voice of the household and kinda, like,
Yeah.
called all the shots and wore the pants. But,
Yeah. I think
yeah.
that's how, like, stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads get such a bad rap, and it's told as such a horror story to women of, like, don't be financially dependent on a man, don't get into these relationships because that might be more common, which is unfortunate, but I know there are like my relationship, if you're still equals, no matter who's bringing in the money
Yeah.
and it's not like that, it can be really great. And so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know it's good to warn women not to get in these positions because it can end up this way, and all obviously for men too. But if you don't have a partner that treats you less than just because you're not making money, it doesn't have to be that way.
I
But she's
think
definitely feeding into that trope of like, you're not making the money, so shut the
so
fuck up.
shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. And I
it's
think you're
dangerous.
right. Like it depends on the man. It depends on the couple. It
Mhm.
depends on the people because yeah, like you I can tell obviously Ashley is a stay-at-home mom, but her husband values everything that she does and brings to the table
Yeah,
because he knows fucking damn well like he can't go live his life if he didn't have her doing all the things that she was
yeah,
doing. Like so it's equal, you know?
mhm.
So I think you're right in that capacity, but it's like, yeah, she's
And I
like,
just wouldn't if it was ever like, "This is your allowance," or "You can't do this or that," that would be the last day I ever didn't work. So, like, we only do it because I mean, and I guess we are working now
yeah,
technically, but,
don't worry,
you know.
Greg. We're on grass. In a couple of years, the roles are gonna flip. It's gonna be Mormon Wives 2.0 because the
We're
roles
like,
are gonna
"Shut
flip,
up."
and she's gonna be like, "Hey, I need you to watch these kids. Like, I got this red carpet. Like,
Yeah, I'd be like, "Here's a couple bucks, go get yourself something nice today."
go put something nice on for Mama." Just
Yeah,
kidding.
like, but yeah, I think that is why, like, it's such a movement now on TikTok, right? Like the trad wives and being against that, and I totally get it because it is like that for a lot of people, and we do wanna warn women to not like, to have your own shit, right? But I just think there is times when it is good, and so but I
It
you know.
it depends on the partner because
Yeah.
there you do have those partners that are just like, you know what I mean, so egotistical and
Yes.
they really want you to stay home and not have your own for the purpose of controlling you,
Yeah.
and that's when it's dangerous, you know?
Totally, totally. So, yeah, it is
Yeah.
risky, but I think as long as you have yourself set up that it's a choice, right?
Yeah.
And not a if you have no other options, like you don't have any skills or education and you can't leave if he does turn into an ass, that's definitely something we need to warn women about, right? But yeah, if
Yeah.
it's sort of like a I have options and this is what I'm choosing, but if it didn't go well, I would switch my option. Then it
Yeah.
can be a good thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just about
Yeah.
not putting yourself in a position of no options.
Yeah.
Then it's dangerous, and for
Yeah.
men too. I don't see that a lot, but with Maisie's husband, "Do you need help?"
Blink twice.
Yeah, so funny. Oh, the boys have, like, a big yelling argument. I hate giving them any attention.
Uh,
It seemed silly, but
oh, that argument was crazy to me. The way girl, first of
yeah.
all, the way Jordan had came at Chase last season, it was like, man up, man up. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
Chase used this as his opportunity for get back.
Yeah,
The way
he's been
that
waiting.
Jordan just sat there while Chase said, "Shut the fuck up." Like, I'm
Yeah,
I I'm sorry, bitch. I don't give a fuck what I did. I'm but like, who the fuck are you? Is this what
yeah,
we're talking about after Jordan done spilled the beans to
yeah. He
like
told
everyone they all had a pact that they weren't gonna
Yeah,
say what happened in London. Macy's husband was really sticking to his guns. Everybody,
mhm,
like Mason and Chase, were really sticking to their guns. I don't know. I'd be really fucking annoyed if my husband didn't tell me what happened.
yeah,
But Jordan, he like starts like, oh, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. And then blabs it all. And
yeah,
then you want to use this excuse of, well, I don't want to lie to my wife and like, I'm just going to be honest with her about everything as opposed to
yeah,
just saying like, yeah, I'm a messy bitch. Like I just had to tell my wife, like you told
yeah,
her before you even left London and y'all had a big old fight before you left to London to where she's
uh-huh,
now like sleeping places and going to hotels. Like, which is crazy to me with it being her house. Like the way I would be like,
mhm.
bitch, you better pitch a tent in the yard. Like, cause I'm not going to no Hyatt, bitch. Like you better get
No.
your fucking sleeping bag, ho. Um, but but
I agree.
Jordan like wasn't even going to tell Dakota that he told. told that he fucked. Okay, so Dakota fucked somebody
Yeah.
at the villa, and
Mhm.
so he wasn't even gonna say anything. He's sitting at that table kikiing, cackling, and it was Macy's husband that told on Jordan, like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
you spilled the beans when we said we weren't going to."
Yeah, and I it's so weird that Jordan's using this excuse, like, "I had to do it to save my marriage," or whatever, and it's like, you're not in a good place as it is, so just admit you wanna be messy. Although I do agree, I like that you have that mindset of, like, "I have to share everything with my wife," but I don't think that is
That's
truly his
not
mindset, no.
why he did it. That's not
I
why you did
agree.
it. Let's be for real. You did it
Totally
to
agree.
have a moment on camera. You did it to have an explosive fight between the boys. He's
Yeah,
trying to make dad talk a thing. And he's like, this is going to be a good fight on camera with Dakota. Like,
yeah.
that's all that was. But the way that Chase was more upset than Dakota was, it's like, Chase was doing a bit much, like, "Shut the fuck up, own
He's
it,
always
do it." Yeah, you know what I mean? Taking low blows, that's why your wife is at a high every now, granted, I love that I didn't give a fuck because it was to Jordan, and I think Jordan sucks, and I think that Jordan
yeah.
deserves it, but it's just so funny to me that Jordan was being such a tough guy to Chase at that party, but you let this man tell you to shut the fuck up right in front of your face,
Yeah.
and you
I know,
did
I think
nothing.
Chases is always trying to get a damn moment. He's, like, so desperate. He's in every comment section. He's always, like he's trying really hard. So that was what he was trying to do right there, which I do appreciate the messiness, so but I don't wanna give the men this much credit. So
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I do like them stirring the pot. So at
Yeah.
the end of episode 2, we see Jesse tell Taylor about Dakota having
Okay.
sex with someone.
Okay, the fact that Jesse didn't I mean, the fact that Taylor did not even have a reunion dress and just got one out of Jesse's closet.
She's so nonchalant. I love it. She's
And
just
then
like
it's also so like, that was a scene that was set up so
yeah,
that they could tell her because it's like you could call a stylist and be like, "Hey,
yeah.
I need a reunion look," and like, boom, they're gonna have something for you in seconds, but
Uh-huh.
I'm so confused if Taylor and Dakota are broken up and have been broken up, why it matters who he sleeps with. You just flew a boy out. We saw you
Yeah,
kiss him on camera. The double standard is really crazy to me. Like, oh, okay, maybe you didn't fuck
it's
Ben
crazy.
because it was a fake scene, but like, come on. Come on. You
I
guys are not together. And you guys are
no.
not sleeping together. So,
They're so toxic, and they both love the toxic, and I find it so hard to be watching this and know that, like not that, like, moms can't have this drama, right? She's a mom of 3, and just watching her and Dakota feels so high school, it's so immature, don't you think? Like, I just feel like I get it, sometimes you get stuck in this cycle and you can't break out of it, but it is just so hard to watch her torture herself over and over again. Dakota is single, she knows if he's with her, he's gonna cheat. If he's single, he's gonna sleep with people. Like, just accept it. I know that's so hard, but like, why does she let it affect her so much?
yeah, I'm really confused about the he's single, but he can't sleep with people or he can't hook up with people. Like, I'm so confused why she's so upset with it. And it's like the only reason you're so upset with it is if you guys are secretly still sleeping together,
Mhm.
which obviously later down the line they eventually do. But at this point, you guys apparently haven't slept together in months. Like, what is
Mhm.
he supposed to do? Like, what is
I
he
think
supposed to do?
I think she just what she really wants is for him to, like, prove that he only wants her, and that's just asking a lot. Like, she wants him to just be celibate, but also single and alone for, like, years to finally prove to her, I guess, but
But
that's
you're
just not
not
gonna
doing
happen.
that, Taylor.
No,
You're
no.
also not doing that. So it's just not like, why can't he go on a boys trip and hook up with a girl if he is a single man?
Yeah, you can't have both, right? It's
You
like,
can't have both.
either be with him and give him another chance and forget the past and see what happens, it won't be good, or you're single and you have to let him be single and focus on you, so,
But it was
uh
like the way she called it first, and I have a question for you that might
okay,
jump ahead to other episodes, but Um, she calls him in this closet and she's like, "Was
yeah.
it good?" And he's like,
Yeah, did you
"No." She's
finish?
like, "No." And she's like, "Did you finish?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "So it was good." Later on in the episode, we hear because Dakota at the reunion brings up some dirty talk. He was like, "I was just dirty talking with Taylor last night." And
Mhm.
she says on camera that it wasn't they weren't sexting, but did I hear correctly that she called him and asked about his sexual
Yeah,
experience in London, and he was giving her all the details of what he did with this other girl, and that was turning
yeah,
her on?
yes, yeah. So that was the sexting that he was saying
He
happened.
was telling her about the girl that he fucked in London, and
Yes,
that was turning her on.
because
But
that's how toxic
the
they are.
fact you hate the fact that he cheats, but you wanna
Mhm.
hear all the nitty-gritty details of him boinking someone else?
Yeah, because that she just want it's like a masochist, right? She just wants to torture herself. She enjoys it, and that's why she's most women wouldn't well, not most women, but a lot of women wouldn't put up with this and they'd be done with Dakota, but she enjoys that toxic pain cycle.
Okay,
So,
so I need to know. I mean, I need to be a fly on the wall because I'm like, during this conversation where he's telling you all the details of banging this girl, were you crying or were you like, tell me more and like
like,
rubbing
tell
yourself
me
to it?
more, I think.
Like because that's I would I would be throwing up.
Yeah. No, it's a whole like, that's a whole genre, I think, people that are into that.
Into
Like,
what?
their partner being with someone else and hearing
Oh,
all the
oh, yeah, yeah,
detail.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, "Oh, into dirty talk? Yeah, sure." Like,
Yeah,
but
FYI.
yeah, 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 you're right. There's a whole I know that that's a thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you get joy out of seeing your partner with somebody else. And if that's the case, then why are you so upset that he's like doing it? Like, I don't know. I'm so confused. Like, it can't
It
be both, right? It can't be both.
it
Either
is.
if you enjoy that, if that turns you on, then let him do that and let you be like you guys actually might be able to have a fulfilling relationship if that's part of it.
Yeah.
What if Dakota likes to cheat and you like to hear about it or see it or that turns you on? I just solved you guys' problem.
Yeah.
Let him cheat, let him fuck other women, but you just watch him because
Yeah.
then you feel like you're a part of it. Then you feel like he's not deceiving you.
Mhm. I think she also hates it too, though, so it's
Oh,
ridiculous.
oh
Cause yeah,
lordy lord.
that's why
Okay.
it's so toxic. It's so
Yeah.
toxic.
Okay.
It's so unhealthy. That happened at the start of episode 3. And then I don't think we mentioned yet, but we've got it's kind of whatever part, but we got Zach and Jen and Whitney and Connor all like living together in LA. Nothing really going on there though. Just like
You couldn't find a house on
yeah, that's
Airbnb
what
like
I was
girl
thinking.
girl please. Okay.
I feel
And
like they did that for one day for the show, and then they were like, "Fuck this! Like we
fuck
gotta get our own
this.
place. This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
absolutely.
That's a lot of kids for
Absolutely.
one house." So
Absolutely.
yeah, and we see Brett and Demi was in that scene, by the way, of the fake, like, mock-up bachelorette. She was there, but then every time they cut to her confessionals, it's just an empty chair, which I thought was pretty funny.
The
So
fact that they have like, who does Demi think she is, by the way? Like, who do you think you are? Like, that you can call shots of, like, "I'm not doing confessionals. I'm not doing
well,
this."
she quit.
Because
That's why she's not there.
yeah, but it's
So
like, what makes you think that she said she declined to do interviews. Like, why are you even
yeah,
on this show? Why are you even here?
yeah,
Because was it in the first 3 episodes when her and Jesse had this little friend sit down with the spiritual advisor?
yes,
So how
yeah,
y'all part of the church? I'm just so confused, and this is where I'm saying the lines are blurred of the church. How you part of the church and you got a motherfucking y'all go to psychics?
yeah. I don't think I know Jesse's not really part of the church, so maybe
Yeah.
that's why. I think because the reunion obviously was filming around this time, like right after this, so she's filming up until the reunion, and then we don't see her again because
Okay.
she's getting the show and the producers sued by Marciano. Like obviously, it's the show's own fault for airing what they aired, but Marciano is saying Demi's claims at the reunion, where she said Marciano sexually assaulted her, are false, and he is suing both Demi and the show. And so I'm
Yeah.
not sure exactly if Demi quit or they put her on pause or fired her. Like
Yeah.
they said she didn't show up, right? But
Yeah.
I would assume you can't really continue if you're getting sued, right?
Yeah, and I do think it was interesting that Jordan was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Vanderpump Villa and cuss Marciano out," and then it's like he comes back like, "Yeah, we had a talk. Like he's pretty cool. He apologized, like and so I guess Marciano told the boys in London he doubled down on what happened with Demi. He
Mhm.
said he says he kissed her.
And the
He
love you
says
or something.
and
Yeah.
love you and that they were
Mhm.
talking for 6 hours, and we have not gotten to the bottom of Jen publicly saying that she saw Demi sitting on Marciano's lap, and then
Mhm.
now when she was asked about it blatantly, she said no, so I don't know what's going on there.
I know, it's hard. I like Jen,
I
and
like her, yeah,
I
I like her
know,
too.
like, the Demi and Jen at the reunion is a thing, but we also have seen Jen lie, right? And so she is
Uh-huh.
hard to trust, like, about that. I do think stuff happened with Demi and Marciano, but I don't know if I trust Jen's account of it just because we saw her lie about
Woman,
the Affleck thing.
they went on the Vile Files, they replayed the clip. They literally
Yeah,
replayed the clip where Jen says that she saw that with her own eyes, and then Demi asked her, "Did you see anything with your eyes?" She said, "No." So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know why we're all skipping past that, but, like, I need to did you see something or did you not?
yeah.
Because clearly something went down. Because Jesse's saying that Demi admitted to her that she did emotionally cheat with Marciano, and now
Mm,
Demi won't even admit that. So it's really hard when you're dealing with two liars, because Demi is just as much of a
yeah,
liar. But now
mhm,
you can admit that you've had emotional affairs on Brett with everybody else, but you're not going to admit that it happened with Marciano. Now all of a sudden you're not even
right,
attracted to him. He's this, he's that.
mhm.
Girl.
Yeah, so it says that she took a step back from the show, so she quit, I guess. So that makes sense because they said she didn't come to the interviews. I wasn't sure if they could have her back at this point with the lawsuits, but yeah, she's only in this 3rd episode, and then we don't see her again. The reunion, we see her get so upset about she's still making these claims against Marciano, and she's crying, and she's saying, "I wish it happened. That'd be better than, like, you guys not believing me," and they're standing 10 toes down about not believing her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, nobody is thinking that this is true at all, and we see that clip of Lisa Vanderpump saying, "I've watched all of the footage." I don't know, I think we talked about this when we recapped season 3, we said, I do agree that it is possible that he grabbed her ass at some point and that maybe she didn't want him to do that, but I also believe that the 6-hour conversations and the flirting, and she continued to communicate with him constantly after she left with this ass grab happening. And now I
Yeah.
know sometimes victims are still, like, scared to not be friendly with their abusers, but when we read out those texts and she's bringing up sexual things, oysters and the cum and stuff, so
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think about it all?
I I think I was just gonna say it very bluntly that I think she's trying to cover her ass. I
Yeah,
think she has to do that for the sake of her marriage. You know?
yeah,
I believe he grabbed her ass. I also believe that he maybe grabbed her ass because he thought we were at a ass grabbing moment. Like, I
mhm.
thought that you wanted me to do that. And if she didn't, then,
Yeah,
that's
what
a whole
about
nother
all this
thing. But I think
mm,
I mean, just with the text and you're talking to your daughter and all of those things,
yeah,
I believe women. I don't believe to me though. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, she's making it hard, especially when they sat there with the healer, and she could have sort of admitted the texting and the talking, which we all saw with our own eyes, and she still won't cop to anything. We
And
see
the
this scene.
whole crying thing, right? Of like you were crying in Vanderpump Villa and telling the girls that you feel like you cheated on your husband.
Yeah,
But now we're just pretending like none of that happened?
yeah, and we see her and Brett singing. I don't know if we need to say any more about it than that,
Right.
but
I don't know what the fuck that was, but okay.
no, and then they talk about this text that Chase had sent. There's something about Chase and Macy. What are they trying to insinuate? He hit on her, she hit on him. He sent her a text, basically inviting her to these cabins, which I do think were like swinging parties. That's exactly what I think happened. They were like
Yeah.
trying to recruit Macy and her husband, but was there like a point to it or just giving
Um,
Chase some more storyline?
I think giving Chase some more storyline. And then somebody had brought it up to Chase that it was a thing, and like Macy had kind of mentioned that
Oh yeah, because her
he
and
sent
Chase
a
are like,
flirtatious like that there was a flirtatious moment happening between
right.
them. I think it was more so Macy's husband being like, Chase is cool, give him a chance. Let's all
Mhm.
meet up. And then she brought Michaela for her backup. Now, what I will say is Michaela talks to Macy's husband crazy.
Yeah.
She hung up on him when he wouldn't tell them what they want in London, and then
Uh-huh.
in this scene right here, she's, like, snapping at him, looking at him, like and I get it, like, you get close to, like, your friend's husband, but, like,
Mhm.
you could tell he was kinda, like, looking at her like, "You're just gonna
Yeah.
let her talk to me like this?" Like, she talks to him crazy. I'd have been like, "Listen, hoe, you not my wife. Stay out of my stay
Yeah.
don't watch your fucking mouth." You know what I mean? Because she's just like, "Whose side are you on, Jordan?" And she's like, basically, like, I don't know. I just don't like how she talks to Macy. So I think you should there should be a mutual respect, you know? Like, if
Yeah,
you
I
want me to
agree.
respect you, then you need to respect me. Like, don't talk to me
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Then there's the event for Whitney's, like, activewear line, and Demi does not come because of her mental health, she says, which they all
Which
take
was the
offense to.
day after the reunion filmed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they call her on the phone, and she knows, like, what.
Layla does. Layla
Yeah.
does. Messy, messy Layla.
We're on speakerphone in front of the entire group of girls, and Demi knows she's just trying to get info, and yeah, you could tell Demi knows she's on speakerphone on camera because of how she's talking, and
Yeah.
like, "My you guys brought my daughter into it," and all this stuff, and so, yeah, nothing new from
But
Demi.
but did they bring her daughter into it? They didn't bring her daughter into anything. Like, that's a fact of something
Yeah,
factual that happened. Like, you had this man talking to your daughter. So I don't know. I mean,
I
I probably wouldn't show my face if I was Demi ever again.
No, I think somebody mentioned something about her asking them to edit it out, and she knew those texts were gonna make her look horrible, like, having her daughter involved in that, and she was definitely panicking, so, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes between Brett and Demi. I'm sure he's not happy about it. They're putting on this, like, fake united front, but I'm sure
Yeah.
he's pissed about it. I think they were spotted out in, like, New York or something yesterday, so they're still together, but I think when Vanderpump Villa airs and we hear more of Marciano's side, maybe things will change, we'll see. But I think that was the end of episode 3, so you have any other
Yeah.
thoughts before we move on to our next batch will be episodes 4 through 7, so once you're done this, come and check that out, and we'll see you there. Thanks, guys.